Hi guys, and welcome back to At Home with Elisa. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I've got my hot chocolate. I'm not a coffee person. I've got my hot chocolate, but I just wanted to have a little bit of a catch up. As you may have noticed, it has been a little while since I posted a video on YouTube, and I just kind of wanted to explain a little bit why. Firstly, I'd really like to thank the people that have actually reached out and just checked to see why I haven't been uploading and if everything was okay. I hope you received my replies. Thank you so much for checking in. It really made my day. It lifted my spirits, and it was so nice to know that people actually have noticed that I haven't actually posted anything. When I started posting videos on YouTube, I really did it just in an effort to try and document our journey here at this property, moving from residential to rural, and just living in tiny homes, and then obviously one day having our house actually built here and establishing all the gardens. And it's a great way for me to document things. Like, I do forget things in the garden, what's been planted and stuff, but also to document just the whole journey itself, and to be able to look back on it and think, wow, like, look at the changes that have actually happened, and remember how much hard work went into everything. So I really wish I had done that with our last house, and that's why I really wanted to take the opportunity to actually start a YouTube channel. And I really wanted to have just everything stored into the one location where I knew that I could find things if I wanted to look at them. And also to reach out and maybe make some new gardening friends. I don't have any gardening friends, so I was hoping that I might be able to meet some new people and just, kind of share my love of gardening with everyone. So it's been about a month since I last posted on YouTube, and during that time I've had a little bit of a break, and I've had a little bit of a think about things, and I just really wanted to, I think, be more authentic and be more me. And I kind of felt like I wasn't really sure how I was supposed to be on YouTube. Not having one before, I wasn't really sure how I was supposed to handle it, and I found obviously that trying to juggle everything, and it's all about balance for me. So authenticity and balance, and my balance was definitely out of whack. My husband and I have our own business, and that business obviously takes up a fair bit of my time here during the day while the children are at school. And I am a mum, and I have young kids, so there's a certain amount of time that needs to be dedicated to that as well, and obviously top priority. So this YouTube is just a way for me to obviously reach out and do something a little bit different, and to challenge myself and learn new things, and I really do enjoy doing that. I am kind of a type of person that likes to, if I set my mind to something, I'm just going to achieve it no matter what. And I kind of set my mind that I was going to put out so many videos. I was aiming at 4 videos a week, and I was going to do 4 videos a week, and it was going to be fantastic. But realistically, that just wasn't maintainable for me because of the business and because of the children. I just didn't have the time to do it, and it kind of took a little bit of a burnout point for me to actually realize that that just wasn't going to be achievable. So I kind of got a little bit caught up in the YouTube algorithm, and that you must put out 4 videos a week or your channel isn't going to grow. And I was trying to do it all, and then I was kind of thinking, well, do I really want my YouTube channel to grow? Is it about growing, or is it just about documenting everything that's here? So I really wanted to take some time out and just sort of assess my priorities and what was important for me with regards to YouTube, and obviously just allow for time to do it as well. So that was kind of the reason for me having a little bit of a break from YouTube, is that I just had to obviously get my priorities correct in my head, and I feel so much better about it now. So I will still be documenting everything that we do here at the property. I'll bring you up to speed on a few things in a minute, but I will be documenting everything that we still do here, because I really do enjoy it, and I love having a spot to look back at and to remember things, even just little changes that we've made already. So I can't wait to see how it progresses over the years. Will be so good. And making new friends as well. Like, thank you so much again for everyone who's contacted me. It really was so lovely to know that even just being here for a little while on YouTube, I've actually made some new friends. So thank you so much. So another thing that I actually have to bring you up to speed on is one of the reasons I'm sitting here curled underneath the blanket here on the lounge today is our weather has been crazy again. So we're in our 3rd round of La Nina, which is just unbelievable. My nearest capital city is Sydney, and we have just broken a record from, I think it was 1859 of our wettest year on record. I looked it up actually just before I did this video, and we have had 87 inches of rain, which is 2.19 meters of rain this year alone, and we're in October. Still got 2 months of weather to go. So honestly, we have had just so much rain, even just in the last few weeks alone as well. We had the other night I went to bed, we go to bed about 9 o'clock, and we had 78 mils of rain in just that one day. Everything is so wet, you can't actually see, but there's puddles all over our lawn. So we did have the catchment, our water catchment overflowed again. It broke its banks and went all through the chickens area. Thankfully the chickens were okay. I was watching closely but they were okay. The garden did get washed out, but our garden beds that we built have provided that buffer and nothing was washed away, which is fantastic news. So the property down the back, it did overflow. It broke those banks. That big pipe, the concrete pipe that we put in, that also was, it just wasn't big enough to allow for the amount of gushing water. I'll see if I can put some videos in. I'll show you the videos of just what happened on that day when we had the 78 mils of rain. It was unbelievable. That night, just after I checked that we'd had the 78 mils of rain, we went to go hop into bed, and underneath our bed was all wet again. So we had flooded in our bedroom while we were happily sitting there. We were binge watching a TV show in the nice rainy night. We thought it was all so lovely, and then we went to hop into bed and yeah, it was soaked. So not ideal, definitely not ideal. I cannot wait to get proper roofs on these little tiny homes, because they are still not waterproof. No matter what we try to do, I don't know what to do about it. I'm hoping, really hoping, that the roofs fix that problem. It's so hard. It's been such an adjustment moving from a beautiful, big, well-built home to tiny homes that leak, that have composting toilets, which aren't a problem, but they're heavy, they're hard work. Everything's just a little bit harder here, you know, not having water on tap. We only have rainwater that we collect, so we don't have any water on tap, or town water as you would call it. So it's definitely been a bit of an adjustment, and when the weather is really, really wet, it's just so much more hard work. We've lost power on a few occasions as well, so it's been an adjustment. I still wouldn't change it. I still love it here, but it's definitely an adjustment. I had planned to show you a September garden tour, however, it was basically just washed out. So it was rained out. I tried on a few different occasions, but it was just so rainy and so wet that there will be one for October. There won't be a September one, so is what it is. I did actually end up putting in another garden bed, which I did do off camera, and I can't wait to show you that. So more room for some tomatoes. I'm very excited. In some other news, I came across my first funnel web at this property. For those of you who aren't familiar, funnel web spider is known as the Sydney funnel web, and they're one of our deadly spiders. So I came across a beautiful female funnel web spider in the garden. When I was gardening with just thongs on, so not the best shoe attire. I promised my husband now that I will always be wearing gloves and I will always have gum boots on. So it is something that we kind of knew that they would be here. We quite often see redbacks back at our old property. Were more residential area. We saw a lot of redbacks, and I don't doubt that we will have redback spiders here. But when we moved here, we actually saw a funnel web hole. So they live in the ground and they dig out a hole, and it basically has webbing all the way through it, and it's a funnel into the ground, funnel web, anything walking past to fall into the funnel, and it has obviously webs around the actual hole. So if you can hear some noise, they're doing some building work next door and it's a little bit noisy. We've also been and seen the company that is building our forever home, which will be going just in this big location here behind me. We had to pick out all of our exteriors, so we're currently in the process of, it's what's called lodging a development application with council in order for us to then build. So we need to get these two tiny homes approved and our future home. So they needed to know the details of like what the exterior of the building will be built out of for fire ratings and things like that. So we've been and picked out all our exteriors. We picked out our locks, our windows, our doors, trims, all that, colors, everything, all the materials that it's all built out of. I was actually hoping to do a video tour of the display home. I will have to do that another time though, because we did run out of time that day. We had to go pick the kids up from school, so I would like to post that for you later on so that you can see our forever home. It's very exciting. Also, in the last month, I found out that I am allergic to leeches. So when we first moved here, I got a march fly bite, which is also called a horsefly, and found out that I'm allergic to those. Spent a little bit of time in hospital the week that we were moving here and on crutches and all that sort of stuff. So I do have a treatment plan for if I get a march fly bite, because they are up at this area here. We never had them down home. I've never had a problem before we moved here. However, now that we're here, we also have leeches because of all the wet weather we've been having. My cousin has lived up here for about, I think, probably close to about 15 years actually, and she said she's never ever seen leeches up here the way that she has the last year. So they'd never encountered a leech until I think last year or the year before, when the wet weather started happening. So it must be to do with the whole La Nina and all the rain. But my goodness, I didn't even notice that it was on me, and yeah, it took a little bit to get that under control. So I now have a treatment plan for march fly bites and for leeches, and it's exactly the same: antibiotics, antihistamines, and ice. We've also had a company here to do what's called a bushfire rating report. So the area that we live in, obviously being Australian bush, we have quite a lot of bush around us. We need to have our houses coded to a bushfire rating. So we're just trying to establish that at the moment. And these little tiny houses will also need to comply. He was here for probably about an hour and a half, and there was a lot of words said, as far as a lot of information. I took notes the whole time. We're just waiting to find out exactly what applies to us and what doesn't apply to us. So I should have that report back within the next week. And again, that's something that needs to be lodged with council as well for that development application. So hopefully it isn't too bad. It just means like we might have to have a thicker grade window. We might have to have a thicker grey glass door. We might have to have certain types of wood. We might have to have, you know, where fire embers can't get underneath the house if our house is elevated, which ours will be a little bit, only about, I think, about 50 centimetres. So different things that might have to apply. We might have to put not just standard fly screens on the windows, we might have to go to aluminium fly screens. So just a few different things that actually come into play. So we're just sort of waiting to find out. Obviously we want to do everything to code and make sure that we're safe here. Essentially, if a fire does come, which, you know, we haven't had one here. We've spoken to the neighbours, they haven't had a fire here for a long time. But if by chance it did actually happen, it would be a get out straight away kind of situation, not sit around and try and fight. I think it would be just be a get out and yeah, come back later and hope everything's still here. So that's about everything. You've been brought up to speed on what's been happening here over the last month. Again, it was just me taking some time just to try and make sure that I'm honest, I'm authentic. I just want to really be me. And it's a really hard thing to figure out when you're trying to do something very, very different and putting yourself out there. I'm a bit of a shy person naturally, so it is very strange to do this, and I don't know anybody else that does YouTube and posts things of themselves online. So it's been a learning curve, and thank you so much for bearing with me. I do promise to try and stay consistent, and I really do love this channel. So I really love having a different way to express myself as well, not just in my garden, but showing people what I'm doing as well. So I'm really enjoying it. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I really have enjoyed having a little catch up with you all and bring you up to speed on everything. I will be posting some more videos soon, because I have endless ideas. It's just the time to actually do the filming and stuff. So I will have those up and running very shortly. I'm hoping to do a tiny home tour actually in the next week or so you'll be able to see inside our little tiny homes and what we've been living in. And well, it's been flooding. It wasn't too bad, to be honest, but yeah, it was really wet, so everything underneath the bed got wet. So we lost our carpets last year, and we still haven't replaced them, thankfully, because they would have been drowned as well. So it is what it is. We'll work it out. It's all part of the process, I think. So thank you so much for joining me again today. I really appreciate you being here.